I've told this story several times over the years, but not online. Figured this would be a fun place to do it. In 1991, I was 6 years old and my family, mom, dad, sister, had moved to a different part of town. Better schools, nicer area, that kind of thing. It was certainly an upgrade from where we were moving from. The house stood out from the other houses in the neighborhood. It was the only two-story house in the neighborhood, and the foundation noticeably sat up higher than the surrounding houses. My dad had learned that when the neighborhood was being developed and the land was being leveled and flattened, they would end up with a big mound of excess dirt, so they basically just built a house on top of it. It was a tri-level house with a 2-car garage, family room, 1 half bath and closet on the lowest level. After living there comfortably for 10 or so years, my parents decided to combine the 1 half bath and closet into a full bathroom. To do this, we had to jackhammer through the concrete foundation to add and move plumbing for the new shower that was going in. Keep in mind that context is speculative, given that there's no way to know if doing so had anything to do with what started happening almost immediately after we remodeled that bathroom. It just always felt that way to me and my family. The middle portion of the house was kitchen, dining room, and living space with 3 bedrooms and a bathroom at the top level. Within days of the remodel, late at night, my dad's stereo system turns on in the living room while everybody is asleep. I was the first to wake up, so I went downstairs expecting to find my dad rocking out at like 2 a.m. for some reason. Although he's definitely never done that before. Though he is quite the audiophile, so you never know. But as I'm getting down the stairs, not only am I realizing it's some random late-night radio playing, but there aren't even any lights on. I just remember turning on a lamp and going over to the stereo cabinet, turning off the receiver and just standing there like, what the hell? I was the only one who woke up as far as I knew. I had a feeling my sister, 14 at this time, was pulling a prank. But when I accused her of doing it that next morning, she was not having it. Parents brushed it off, considering they never heard anything either. Well, this would keep happening. I'd say probably 8 to 10 more times in the following months. The same thing would happen every time, always in the middle of the night. Stereo would come on and the volume would slowly go up until someone ran downstairs and turned it off. There were times it had gotten way too loud before someone made it downstairs, and this particularly frustrated the hell out of my dad because the stereo system was his pride and joy, and he was afraid the speakers were going to get damaged. My parents, of course, thought either my sister or I were doing this, but before we had even fully convinced them it wasn't us, other things started happening. For example, I was standing in the upstairs shower washing my hair one time, and as I'm facing the back of the shower wall, I see a shadow sweep around the whole shower. Of course, I pull the curtain open expecting to see my sister or someone messing with me, but no one was there and door was locked. There were a lot of shadow incidents. From the living room you can see upstairs to some degree, and we would often see out of the corner of our eyes something quickly crossing the hallway from one room to another. Like you would just barely catch a flash of something when no one was up there. Touch lamps would come on by themselves often. My dad said on multiple occasions he'd be laying awake having trouble sleeping, and the touch lamp on the nightstand next to him would come on by itself. Most notably, my close friend and my dad described seeing the exact same person in the house. In fact, they both saw this person while doing the same thing, which was walking into the front door when no one else was home. Probably a year or so into these occurrences, my dad got home from work one day, opened the front door and saw a young girl around my sister's age standing at the top of the stairs that would take you down into where the remodeled bathroom is. He said she looked about my sister's age and had similar blonde hair, wearing a light blue dress with a white collar. As soon as he saw her, she bolted down the stairs. He went over there, checked the whole downstairs. Upstairs, no one was home. A friend of mine not long after that would do the exact thing. We got home from school. I threw him my keys to open the door because I was carrying stuff. He walked in the front door and saw the same thing my dad saw. Described the same hair, clothes, everything. I wish the story got juicier from here, but ultimately we just adapted to it. It was a little spooky at first, but once we realized it was just a young girl, we were so used to it anyway it was almost comical. Things kept happening up until the point I moved out at 19 and the house was sold about a year later when my parents would divorce. One other interesting detail is that the guy who bought the house did so as an investment property that he planned to rent out. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that house being sold or going up for rent over the 20 years since. Did we release the ghost of a young girl after breaking through the foundation? Perhaps a grave was among the mound of dirt that the house was built on? Did something nefarious happen, or was it just an annoying glitch in the matrix? Regardless, it's always been fun to speculate.